When it comes down to talking about workout supplements, it is obvious that many people are going to begin asking a lot of different questions. From the efficiency to the actual supplement to the setbacks that it may bring into training, and even the long-term information regarding risks or benefits. Most people do not feel safe when they take a supplement that they think is unknown or that they do not know much about themselves. Creatine often falls under this unknown supplement that not many people know about. But in recent years, it has been researched much more. It has been shown that it does have its benefits and it does have its own setbacks. Now, more modern times, people are actually considering taking creatine as a supplement. One of the biggest questions that other people bring up when they involve creatine is creatine a supplement that should be recommended to any weightlifter, athlete, powerlifter, or anybody exercising at all? Or is it too unknown and that it needs further research? So one of the main points is where you have to actually buy your creatine. A lot of people do not know where the best places are to purchase creatine. It could either be Amazon, Walmart, Target, GNC, and a lot of other supplemental stores that are chain brands. One of the most common forms of creatine supplements targeted towards consumers is called creatine monohydrate, and it is often sold at GNC and also online at Amazon. As long as consumers are aware of the type of creatine they buy and the research that follows which creatine they buy, then they will know what you are purchasing. Creatine monohydrate is currently the most commonly purchased form of creatine out there. One of the other questions that a lot of other people have to ask is what negative side effects are caused by taking creatine. So it's already known that every supplement that people are going to put into their body should be researched, discussed, and should be also brought up with your healthcare provider, such as your doctor when you go for a physical. Everybody has their own different health situations, and it is important to know that creatine is going to affect people differently. Weight gain has been shown to occur in many people when they take creatine. However, that has to be discussed further because a lot of people, they assume that is straight fat that they are going to gain. That is not the case. Proper consumption of creatine in healthy amounts can be beneficial. Yet if you do not discuss it with your health provider or you take heavy doses of creatine, it definitely can become problematic towards your liver or your kidneys. Some people, they try asking whether or not creatine is efficient and healthy overall as a supplement in comparison to PEDs such as anabolic steroids. Steroids themselves require a lot of planned out and methodical use. People who take steroids just without doing any research, without caring at all, they tend to get hurt. They tend to have injuries or health defects that will follow them throughout their entire life. Now, creatine is far less dramatic whenever you take it incorrectly. There are a lot of people who take high dosages when it is absolutely not recommended to do so. However, it still isn't going to usually be enough to be fatal or even cause chronic diseases or anything else that is major. In fact, taking creatine actually helps us feel more energized throughout our entire exercise. And because of that, we have more long-term energy, which allows us to work out more intensely. Whereas with steroids, it is focusing on making you stronger, making you bigger. But that comes at the cost of, if you take it incorrectly, you can definitely get hurt. Creatine does actually build muscle. A lot of other people, they try making the point that creatine does not help you build muscle, much like steroids will. And while that's true, creatine still can help you a lot in making good progress when it comes to muscle, when it comes to developing more muscle fibers in your body. This is done through the use of ATP, which is called adenosine triphosphate. It is a compound inside of the human cells that helps us to have energy whenever we work out or we exercise. At the same time, creatine is also helping us to recover faster after an intense workout and to be able to have the energy the next day to do another workout. Like if you hit legs one day and you go very, very intense in that workout, the next workout being chest day will not have been affected too greatly by the intensity of your previous day's workout. It is common for people to also ask whether or not creatine causes any sorts of diseases in the human body. Now, the only way that typically ever happens is if you take creatine in far too excessive amounts. Currently, it's common for people to take creatine for 5 grams up to 10 grams a day. But if you were to take 20 or 30 grams a day, then it could start over time to slightly damage your liver and your kidney, which could develop liver and kidney disease. All of the labels need to be read whenever you purchase creatine, and research has to be done to make sure people know not to overdose on their creatine intake every day. Can creatine affect your mental health negatively? Another question that a lot of other people try asking. Believe it or not, creatine is a chemical that is already not only within our entire human body, naturally too, before you even take the supplement, but our own brain uses it for the purpose of us. Our brain even synthesizes its own supply of creatine for its own use. Creatine helps with a lot of the cognitive abilities in the human body. Skills, what you're good at, just problem solving, thinking, everything related to that. It can also help fight depression and anxiety as well. There are other people who believe that creatine is actually a stimulant, much like pre-workout or caffeine, rather than being an actual supplement. And the confusion starts where people think because creatine is helping them feel more energized the next day, they might start to think that because they feel more energized, they think similarly to energy drinks, where they feel, oh, I have more energy in the moment. I think this is a stimulant because I already know that energy drinks have a lot of chemicals that are considered stimulants. However, the difference between energy drinks and creatine is creatine offers a lot of long-term energy in the human body, while energy drinks is more like a short burst of energy to keep you going for a shorter period of time. It is a lot more recommended to have creatine as your supplement rather than rely on taking energy drinks, not only because of the toll energy drinks would take on your heart, but the caffeine that's also in them. Creatine does not have any of these addictive or strong chemicals within them. There are some people who do mix stimulants and creatine together, which is what could be causing confusion. But as stated earlier, that's what consumers need to be careful of. It is always important to know what you're buying before you just claim that a certain supplement is bad for everybody, all out. Some of the benefits of creatine in bodybuilding and powerlifting are already stated: muscle growth, you have more explosive power thanks to the extra ATP compound within your entire body because of the creatine. You get to recover a lot quicker for the next day so that your next workout isn't that bad. And your overall energy, not even just for workouts only, but throughout the whole day, is going to be far better. One of the questions that some people like to get worried about is whether or not creatine is making you gain weight. And while it will make you gain weight, that is guaranteed, it is important to know what weight you're gaining in the first place. A lot of people don't know that creatine, sometimes you will gain a little bit of water weight, and that is very common whenever you take that supplement. But at the same time, you are also helping to assist your muscles grow lean muscle fibers the next time you go to the gym. Some people confuse this with fat. Gaining fat is done with a lot of other factors, many other factors, but it is not a result of creatine. It could be a result of your diet or many other things. And finally, for powerlifters or people who are just trying to get stronger in general, they tend to ask whether or not creatine makes you stronger. So, since adenosine triphosphate, ATP, is already starting to boost in energy levels throughout our whole human body, that means because of that ATP, we are going to have more energy to go more intense into all of our exercises. So for people who are trying to improve their bench, they might notice an increase in their strength. Explosive power in any of your main compound movements is also going to be increased over time as long as you keep up with training. And you will overall get stronger slowly, but a little bit faster, more like a boost than compared to before when you were working out without creatine in your system. So while a lot of points are made against creatine with kidney and liver damage that could occur if you take it way too much, far too excessively, it is important to leave this podcast with the point that creatine is not unknown. There is research done by many other sources that show that creatine is worth taking as long as you research exactly which creatine product you're buying and where you're buying it from, and you talk to your doctor or healthcare provider to see if it's safe to do so regarding any conditions you already might have, such as people with heart conditions might want to talk to their doctors before, immediately getting to a supplement like creatine. So, with proper research and advice, creatine is definitely a supplement that people should consider.